When we last left our three adventurers, they had entered into the darkness of the goblin cave, where they were immediately met by a pack of vicious wolves. Luckily for our adventurers, the wolves were chained to a stalagmite in their den. The three then climbed a rocky slope with Sandowish leading the way, narrowly missing a flash flood that came crashing down from deeper within the cave. At the top of the slope was a den of goblins. Their leader Yeemik, atop an escarpment, held Sildar Hallwinter hostage, threatening to throw Sildar to his death if the adventurers did not help in Yeemik's scheme to overthrow his bugbear overlord Klarg. Sandowish's sneak attack went horribly wrong, and Sildar was thrown to the ground below. Azorio rushed to tend to Sildar's wounds as Splendorious cleaved the fleeing goblins. Yeemik surrendered and began ranting about a mysterious figure named the Bleach Spider who ruled over even Klarg. With Sildar safe and Yeemik captured, the party will go in search of Klarg in hopes of finding Gundren, with Yeemik leading the way, bound and gagged.
Let's lead Yeemik, have him lead us, rather. So, Yeemik, why don't you take us to where your buddy Klarg lives?
Okay, do I have to go first?
Yeah, we'll follow you. You can see in the dark, right?
Yeah. Are we going without torches?
I have this lantern.
I can see in the dark. I can lead us if need be.
Yeemik needs to tell us where we're going, and another thing I wanted to ask you, Yeemik, how many goblins in your tribe?
There's only 4 goblins left,
Oh.
and they're all guarding Klarg.
So this battle between goblins and Klarg and you taking over the whole place is kind of not that big of a deal. There's 4 people. It's like roommates situation.
Well, I mean, that's why I was trying to get you to do it.
Okay, well, let's go check out Klarg.
Splendorious leans forward. Perhaps we should ask about this Bleach Spider.
I told you I don't know anything!
What's his real name?
I don't know!
Is he a human? Is he an elf?
I don't know!
Perhaps we should torture him for more information.
No! I don't know!
Come on, it's probably...
Help! Help!
I'll tell you something that's very suspicious. How did he learn to speak the common tongue so well? Surely they don't have some sort of public school system set up to accommodate language acquisition.
With the economy that's in this realm, you have to know English to succeed.
What's English?
I mean, you have to know common to succeed.
He clearly knows much more than he's letting on.
Maybe the goblins do dealings with certain dwarves. Plus, they are near such metropolitan areas as Neverwinter. They could pick up little tidbits from publications.
We're so close to Neverwinter, we're only 3 days travel away.
Splendorious's eyes begin to gleam with madness as he whispers, "Does anybody have a feather?"
No.
Come on, Splendorious. The bald elf is right. Let's just go. It's just normal for these guys to talk like this.
Excuse me, why did you have to say bald elf when he is the only elf among us?
He's a bald elf, man.
It was merely a designation by the cue ball nature of my head, unaccommodating towards any mirage that I might be able to cast of myself in twin duplicate image.
He's got a point there.
Splendorious says, "All I'll say is get yourself a wig." And he flops his hair back behind his shoulder.
When you flop your hair back, it hits Sildar in the face, and he's like, "Ugh, let's get going. Just let Yeemik lead the way. He knows this cave."
Oh, did we untie him, or is he hobbling along with his tippy toes?
Yeah, he's like a penguin. Sandowish is tying a leash to it.
How tall is Yeemik?
Maybe 4 feet.
So he's like almost a foot and a half taller than me. I'm 2'9".
You're only 2'9"?
Yeah.
No.
He's like a koosh ball. He's a koosh ball with a head on top.
I would just say that Sandowish looks like Kirby. It's like an emo Kirby.
Evo Kirby.
Yeah, I'm like an emo Kirby.
Like a ska Pikachu.
Like if there was a D&D skill, I would definitely pick up double jump. Sandowish will, since for whatever reason he's holding the rope that Yeemik is tied up in, will just prod him along with my short sword and say, so next question. Yeemik, are there other bugbears with Klarg? Or is he just,
God, I hope not. There should only be Klarg.
All right, let's go. And I'll poke him along.
Yeemik hobbles along down a hallway. You pass the slope that you came up recently. Further down the hallway, you come to a rickety bridge that spans the passage, connecting 2 tunnels that are 20 feet above the stream below. You go across the bridge and you enter into another room.
Oh, okay, that's nice. I thought we were gonna die.
Yeemik, he leads you into a twin pool room as he waddles in. This cavern is half filled with 2 large pools of water. A narrow waterfall high in the eastern wall feeds the pool, which drains out of the western end of the chamber to form the stream that flows out of the cave mouth below. Low flagstone walls serve as a dam holding the water in. One has already collapsed. A wide exit stands to the south, while 2 smaller passages lead west. The sound of the waterfall echoes through the cave, making it difficult to hear. There is 3 goblins standing guard. The goblins run up to Yeemik and try to untie him.
When they start trying to untie him, Splendorious, he immediately has his axe out and he pounces on them with his axe immediately. And he goes, ha ha! And swings down gleefully with his great axe to cleave them asunder.
As the 2 goblins begin to untie Yeemik, from the darkness erupts a man in a wig and rouge with a large axe and cleaves one of the goblins in 2 before the other one realizes what has happened. The blood spatters up, staining the 50 feet of rope that ties Yeemik up.
Can you make sound effects?
Oh, gross!
I feel like all these goblins are just Dobby from Harry Potter.
Did he get cleaved with an axe?
I feel sorry for them because you make them really cute. Oh no! Please no! That's so cute.
Is that what goblins do?
It's your world, man. It's however you want them to be.
They have like big puppy dog eyes.
Yeah, why not?
The goblins that you cleaved looks up at you with big dark eyes and says, why?
And Splendorious, he says, surrender now so I may give you a peaceful execution.
Azorio moves his hands in rapid kinetic fashion and shoots a ray of frost out at one of the remaining goblins.
Azorio blasts a ray of frost out of the darkness, hitting the second goblin, freezing his hands to the rope, causing him to be unable to release Yeemik.
What a twist of fate. You tried to unburden someone and became burdened yourself.
Your insult was so cutting that he loses another hit point.
These goblins really are like legitimately well educated, right? They're understanding like the wit and the humor.
Yeah, they're so well educated that they're taking damage points.
They all went to 1 year nursing school.
Yeah, these things are really, really cute. And like you hurt its self-esteem so badly that it just like gave up on its life.
It's still got 1 hit point.
Well, that's even worse because now it's gonna have to live through the ongoing torture.
Well, he's going to therapy.
Splendorious Splendorious says, let us give this one a chance to give us some more information, perhaps about this goblic society.
Sandowish says, seems your hands are in a bind, but maybe I can loosen your tongue and poke him with... Sandowish pokes him with the short sword.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
He has to look up at this goblin.
My name's Dobby.
Donnie, where's the treasure?
Klarg's in the other room. He's there with his dog Ripper. He's got all the provisions we stole from the Blue Lion. He's got everything in there. Just free my hands. They're so cold. And then Yeemik says, "Yeah, free me too from this rope."
Splendorious just says, don't listen to them, it's a trap.
The frozen goblin says, "It's not a trap, but he'll be waiting for you." The other goblin went in there to tell him.
Splendorious gets right in his face and he says, I know that that's a trap, you fool.
He struggles to get free and his arms snap off and he falls backwards.
Splendorious kicks his frozen feet out of the way and keeps walking after him. And he says, Bleach Spider, blue elephant.
Blue elephant? What are you talking about?
And then Splendorious turns around and he looks at the both of you and he says, this is obviously some sort of code, isn't it?
Brown bear, what do you see?
Frozen goblin stands up and runs towards the south entrance.
Splendorious throws a javelin at him.
What? You have a javelin?
Yeah, remember he carries it like an X across the...
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you were like doing this, like the behind the back
like
thing.
Deadpool.
Yeah.
Splendorious throws the javelin and pierces the frozen goblin right through the back, pinning him to the ground. He moves no more.
Splendorious howls with delight as he prances over to like go retrieve his javelin and search the corpse.
When you howl, it gives off a deafening echo in the cave.
I think we could make short work of that bugbear. What do you say we go in there, get him down to low health, and then get the information of where Gundren is and what they've done with him? After we get the information, we can slay him, for we will have the knowledge, and what we do with him next is of no matter to me.
Well, Gundren's probably just in a wine cellar somewhere. He was pretty blasted when he left the tavern.
Don't say that about Gundren. Let's go. You show respect.
Splendorious says, I like that plan a lot. However, I have one small twist that I think would make it that much more, ever more delicious.
As long as it's not a titty twist.
No titty twists here. And then Splendorious begins to slowly feel the blade of his axe. I've been thinking that perhaps what we could do is pretend that the other of us is our hostage and that we'll pretend to kill the person if he doesn't lay down his weapons. And then when he least expect it, I give him an axe to the head.
Why would he care about any one of us?
Because we are going to pretend that we want to join him.
Wouldn't it be hard to make him care about us so swiftly?
No, because the man that we're going to threaten to kill is me, a Neverwinter noble.
But this is a savage bugbear we're talking about.
Yeah, I don't feel that your idea is very well thought out.
Are they really that savage when they laugh at our jokes? When they understand our humor? When they beg for mercy as we lavish in their blood spilling across our face?
Yes, because they cannot labor over tomes of geometric designs and divine interpolations.
Is that really how you measure civilization?
It is.
Being able to read arcane tomes? Perhaps there is more wisdom in these noble beasts than there is, perhaps, in certain tomes that have proven to be illogical as time has gone on.
But our forefathers have architected it with such great foresight and wisdom. How could it have been proved fallacious when it is the ground that we stand on?
You know what? That's a good question. Let's let the gods decide who's right. We follow my plan and I'm wrong, then you're right. If we follow your plan...
Are you gonna let me go?
Shut the fuck up. And then...
Wait, what if we use Yeemik as the hostage?
What? I don't think that's a great plan.
I have a feeling this bugbear is not going to care about the life of Yeemik here, an even lesser subhuman than a bugbear.
Hey!
Listen, I think so there's this war, right, in this cave between the goblins and the bugbear, but the bugbear has, like, goblins on his side, too. right?
There's a war going on between the goblins and the bugbears in this cave.
Tensions are fraught.
Is that true?
Well, yeah, that's what we've been talking about.
I was just trying to overthrow him, you know. I thought I could run it better.
Splendorious says, you want to overthrow the bugbear? Okay, this is perfect. Here's what we're gonna do. Now listen to me. It's the plan. We are going to kill the bugbear. We're going to install him as the new goblin king, but secretly he's going to be working for us. And then we use the goblins to bend reality to our advantage.
Okay, but you're gonna live, right?
Oh, you get to live. You're going to live for a very long time, perhaps by magical means. Splendorious whirls around and he says, this is it. It's happening now. Can you feel it? This is the moment. This is when it all begins. You can smell it. You can taste it.
Smell what?
Whoa. Sandowish grabs Azorio by the wrist and says, hey, is this guy... I don't know if this guy's your friend or how, is this guy cool with us? Is this guy okay?
Azorio, you are to be the Grand Chancellor Sandowish. I dub thee now Lieutenant Captain of the Guard of the new Splendorious Kingdom.
What about me?
You're going to be a puppet king.
Oh, I want to be a king of goblins.
Well, your job is to get the population of the goblins up so we can enslave them, and then we can finally relax. We've worked hard enough.
Sandowish, still holding on to Azorio's wrist, looking for guidance, is gonna grab with his other hand Splendorious's wrist, releasing the leash on Yeemik and say, is this really what you two want to be doing with your lives? Splendorious, you want to just be stuck down in this cave? I thought we were trying to go to Philandolin.
Precisely, and that is what we must do.
Splendorious takes a knee and he says, just trust me with this plan, and I guarantee you we will never set foot in this cave again. I told you, it's going to be run by our puppet king here. I've already knighted him and everything.
When you point to Yeemik, he's slowly waddling back down the hall.
I grab the leash, I give it to Azorio.
Rats!
Splendorious grips his great axe and he says, I think now that we've all agreed to follow my plan, Azorio, what should I do?
Brilliant.
We have not agreed to follow your plan. Your plan is hatched as though from a hen who is so malnourished and simply cannot give good fruition to her thoughts. We will not linger in this cave one moment longer than we need to. You say that's not what we would do, but how would we ever set this imbecile of a goblin up as a proxy ruler?
Yeah, this guy is an idiot.
You hear a goblin tumble down the stairs to the south. He clearly was trying to spy on you. And then he runs back into the cave.
Splendorious throws a javelin at him.
Splendorious aim is on a high level today.
Yes!
The javelin flies past a stalagmite and pierces the goblin in the leg. He pulls the javelin from his leg and crawls back into the cave.
So you guys were just discussing a plan, but I say we try to go in there and get some treasure so that by the time we get to Philandolin, we can be rich and we can take out my heart's desire, my one true meaning in life, meaning in death.
Splendorious then looks at Azorio and then makes a face as if this is exactly what I've been saying this whole time. How come you are too stupid to understand?
That's hilarious.
I guess that is what we must do then. But on the way there,
Trapped with two idiots!
On the way there, we should stop at Cragmaw Castle, where I can wipe clean the defilement of these goblin scum.
Yes.
Yes, Sildar is with me.
Yes, I must find my friend. I think he might be captured there as well.
Yes.
Yes. All of it. All of the above. This is what I'm saying. If you guys would just stop and listen to me for 1 second.
Listen, I had a nice breakfast with you guys. I don't know if I can venture
We've been here for so long.
too much outside of my path, but we don't need to be deciding that now. Can't we just go rob this poor cold heart of a cavern of its treasure?
Well, I'm gonna see if that bugbear knows what Albric is. That's all I care about. My friend, he disappeared from Phandalin 2 months ago.
Okay. But do you care about finding Gundar?
Yeah, I mean, he might be where Narno Albric is. I'm sure they may be together.
Who is that? Splendorious says, okay, enough lore. It's time to get down to destroying the bugbear.
Sildar picks up one of the goblin scimitars and says, "Lead the way, warrior."
Splendorious, he gets the battle axe and he holds it high and he stomps forward and he says, with pleasure. Splendorious looks at Sandowish. He says, see my eyes, see my axe. You'll know when the time is ready. Splendorious holds up the axe in the shape of a T and winks, and then he motions to the stairs.
Sandowish says to Splendorious, just be cautious. Check the stairs for traps.
Splendorious says, send that goblin over here.
He wobbles over.
Splendorious grabs him and he gets out his javelin and he holds the javelin point up to the goblin's neck. And then he puts the goblin out in front of him and leads the goblin slowly up.
You get to the top of the stairs and you enter the room with Yeemik first, your javelin to his throat. The lantern lights the room. Sacks and crates of looted provisions are piled up in the south end of this large cave. To the west, the floor slopes towards a narrow opening that descends into darkness. A large opening leads north down a set of natural stone steps, the roar of falling water echoing from beyond. In the middle of the cave, the coals of a large fire smolder.
Splendorious kicks the goblin forward. Splendorious tells him to walk around the room a little bit, and then Splendorious hollers down the stairs to tell the others to come up.
So Yeemik starts to hobble around the room. You notice as Yeemik hobbles around the room, there's a trail of blood leading to behind the crates. And you see Yeemik staring at something behind the stalagmite.
I say, Yeemik, what do you see? And remember, tell me the truth, for you shall be king. So your word means your life and the law.
His eyes keep darting to behind the stalagmite and he says, there's no one here.
If you are lying to me, I'm going to feed you piece by piece to the oxen that brought us here.
How double-minded is your approach, Splendorious? First you feed him the false hope that he will be king. Then you say he will be...
Azorio is interrupted as a giant wolf leaps out from behind the stalagmite and tears into Yeemik.
Dude!
Splendorious whirls around and gives you another look like, see?
Yeah, exactly! I'm dumbfounded.
Like so maddening.
All you see right now is across from the smoldering fire is Yeemik being torn to shreds by a wolf. It's shaking Yeemik back and forth between its jaws, and bits of rope and flesh are flying around the room.
Splendorious is going to attack him from the back.
Splendorious charges across the cave, leaps over the smoldering fire, and lands his axe into the side of the wolf. wolf. It lets out a howl and drops Yeemik's lifeless, torn body onto the cave floor.
Splendorious says, "Looks like we're gonna have wolf for dinner tonight, boys."
Sandowish exclaims, "Oh no, the Goblin King died. Oh, such sorrow in my dark heart."
Splendorious says, as he's hacking away, "I know what you mean."
Wait, Sandowish, are you going to give away your position saying that since you're sneaking right now?
Yeah.
So do you say it from the shadows?
Yep. I try to pop up from behind the boxes to say that, but since I'm behind him, I actually have to boost myself up with my little arms to hop on top of the boxes and say, "Oh no, the Goblin King, such sorrow in my dark heart."
Do you like that, like, we're really dysfunctional because we're already, like, taking pot shots at each other in the middle of a battle?
It's not a shot at you, it's just like, obviously the Goblin King thing was such an extreme idea.
Well, Splendorious meant something to Splendorious. He was serious.
Yeah, he swung for the bleachers,
Okay,
man.
well, Sandowish thinks that's bullshit.
Yeah, that could hurt his feelings.
When you pop on top of the crates, you notice that hiding behind the crates are two goblins, one with a wounded leg.
When Sandowish realizes that those goblins are down there underneath him, he's gonna jump off the crates towards them and shoot an arrow at the same time.
From atop the crates, Sandowish jumps down towards the goblins, loosing one arrow into the unwounded goblin. It pierces him straight through the chest. Sandowish's heavy body knocks him to the ground as he stands on him with his tiny feet. Sandowish not able to keep the goblin there, and he slips away and also tries to make his way to the dark hole in the back of the room.
Sandowish will unleash another arrow. He'll say, "May this pierce your heart like mine's been pierced so many times."
The goblin slips from Sandowish's feet, but he barely takes a few steps before Sandowish plants another arrow into his back, and he falls dead on the floor.
Sandowish checks his hair, too. He brushes it to the side a little bit.
It's now out of your face.
Azorio really resenting the wolf for vindicating something that Splendorious said about feeding the goblin to something, and it ended up happening, shoots a ray of frost at the wolf.
Azorio launches a ray of frost across the smoldering fire into the wolf. Its body freezes and it topples over, shattering into shards. Klarg runs from behind the stalagmite, and before any of you can reach him, he shimmies down a natural chimney into a room you're not sure where it leads to.
Shimmy down the chimney, Jiminy!
Nice.
Yo, I be shimmening down so many chimneys. I'm gonna be rocking in the biminies, biblies. Oh, man, Sandowish has totally got this move. Sandowish, he'll hop back up on the crates. It's no time to lose. And grab the lantern back from Splendorious and run towards the shaft. And he's gonna jump into the shaft with the lantern and slide down the shaft with his hands and legs sprawled against the side to make him slide down nice and easy. Slides down the sides, but because he's so tiny, he's like pretty much spread, I don't know, all the way out. His wingspan and feet are all the way out, Ninja Warrior style.
Sandowish elegantly slides down the natural chimney, and he lands gracefully on his feet as he enters a new room. He shines the lantern up as three wolves lunge at him, narrowly missing him, still attached to their chains, attached to a single stalagmite in the room. You can see Klarg running out of the north entrance and hear him splashing away in the stream. You realize it's the first room that you passed with the wolves in it.
So we should have killed the wolves in the first place, guys.
You should have listened to Splendorious.
If we had like a druid with animal handling or whatever, all of this cave would have been solved. Oh, I make the wolves my pets. Great. Okay, they're gonna kill everyone. Okay, great. They're not there when he tries to flee. Anyways, for this, Sandowish is gonna say, "Come down. We've got a." It's not the right
I thought he was
accent
an
at all.
emo kid. He's not what? Is he Ghibli now?
I know, but I don't know how to be excited with an emo kid. I'm like, "Oh my god, come down! We've got a chase on our hands." Anyways, what Sandowish says is, come on, guys, we got a chase on our hands. Let's go.
Splendorious says,
You could tell us where Gundar is.
The wounded goblin slips into the chimney and tumbles down it. Is now beside Sandowish.
Sandowish is going to run around the outside of the perimeter of the wolf room to try to get around the leashes and run and follow Klarg.
The goblin, he hobbles across the cave. The wolves pay no mind to him. They keep staring at you as you walk slowly around the edge of the cave and you reach the stairs at the same time as the hobbling goblin. Then you walk into the bank of the stream and you run to the edge of the cave, but by that time Klarg is long gone.
I'm going to try to look across the landscape, even though I'm very low to the ground, to see if I can see any sight of him at all.
You look, but you're shoved over by the goblin as it tries to run across the field to the forest, so you don't have time to see where Klarg would have gone into the woods. Sandowish stands back to his feet, looses one arrow into the back of the hobbling goblin, and it lands face down dead in the middle of the field.
Sandowish can say, stay up there. There's much to be had, I think. He got away. What are we gonna do?
Do.
Sildar says, damn.
Damn.
Do you go back up there, Sandowish?
Sure, yeah.
Do you call back up the chimney, or you can go the long way?
No, I'm gonna go the long way. I'm gonna go all the way up the stairs, over the bridge, past the two pools room.
Well, you can go under the bridge this time.
No, I'll go back up the chimney.
The supplies to the south of sacks and crates are with a symbol of a blue lion from the Lion Shield casters in Phandalin.
Splendorious says, see, the blue lion. Now we just need to watch out for the bleached spider. I'm telling you.
Sildar says, if we return that to the Lion Shield casters, I'm sure they'll reward us handsomely.
Okay, maybe, well, it's very suspicious.
Then you find Klarg's unlocked treasure box, and inside is 600 copper pieces.
That's 6 gold.
2 potions of healing, and a jade statuette of a frog.
Who wants what?
Okay, so we'll split the 600 copper 3 ways, so 200 apiece.
Should we offer some to Sildar?
Sure, I'll take some.
I tie Sildar up and put him in a mummy binding, so only his mouth is showing.
Sildar says, let's take the Lion Shield caster provisions back to the cart and let's head on our way to Phandalin. You adventurers are able to move the Lion Shield caster provisions to your cart and safely release the 3 wolves into the woods. You begin your way to Phandalin and finally have free time to converse. Sildar lies in the back of the cart nursing his wounds as the rest of you sit towards the front. The 2 oxen slowly pull the cart along the well-routed routes of the road. What is it? The trenches of the road.
Well-worn.
Yeah, the well-worn routes of the road. It's a brisk day, and you should be able to make it to Phandalin before dark.
So, Sildar, says Sandowish, what brought you to such harrowing quest as you almost died? Like, for nothing? For your friend who just wanted to move some mining equipment? Or what's going on with you?
We have greater plans to protect most of this realm. We're part of a group. Inaro and me were a part of the Order of the Gauntlet, but he went missing, and so I came to find him. I fear something bad has happened to him. Gundren was just a cover to come into the city without suspicion.
So, you don't care about Gundren at all?
I care about all life, but Inaro is part of our order, and I must find out what has happened to him. I'm sure whatever happened to him has happened to Gundren.
So what part did Gundren play in all this? Why are we involved?
Well, Gundren had found the entrance to the long-lost Wave Echo Cave. That is the site of the Fandelver's pack.
Okay, that's kind of sounds like a really big deal.
Well, more than 500 years ago, clans of dwarves and gnomes made an agreement known as the Sandowish Pact, by which they would share a rich mine of wondrous caverns known as Wave Echo Cave. In addition to its mineral wealth, the mine contained great magic powers. Human spellcasters aligned themselves with the dwarves and the gnomes to channel and bind the energy into a great forge. This was called the Forge of Spells, where magic items could be crafted. Times were good, and the nearby human town of Phandalin prospered as well. But then disaster struck when orcs swept through the north and laid waste into their path. A powerful force of orcs, reinforced by evil mercenary wizards, attacked Wave Echo Cave to seize its riches and magic treasures. Human wizards fought alongside their dwarves and gnome allies to defend the Forge of Spells, and the ensuing spell battle destroyed much of the cave. Few survived the cave-in and tremors, and since then the location of Wave Echo Cave was lost until Gundren.
So Gundren sounds like the key to a lot of loot, huh?
He expects to make a great profit, and with his brothers.
You mean he did expect to make a great profit, but now his heart lay slain.
Well, they must have taken the map he had with him.
And who do you think has the map?
Probably that Bleach Spider character, if he was telling Klarg what to do.
Fair enough.
He's like, well, whatever. And then he's like, fair enough. He does like the D&D voice.
Fair enough.
Wow, my accent really, really wore off on you.
Here, no, I got it. Here, rewind. Anson, you gotta edit this in. So he'll go, fair enough. But that sounds like quite a journey. What of you, Azorio? Where do you come from? And why do you feel like you found yourself here?
My story would take a while to tell in its entirety, but in broad strokes, I came to Neverwinter from a faraway land where elves dwell peacefully. I found myself working my way up through the ranks of Ogma's temple, but it is slow going to climb that ladder of success. I find myself with such mundane duties as dusting the tomes in the vast libraries.
Oh, no. Really? Oh, that sounds horrible.
Yes, it is a privilege for, well, when I am sweeping the halls, mopping the wooden floors, I can sneak away and peruse the tomes. It is there that I have made a compendium of my own that I showed you back at the tavern.
Yes, indeed.
And I pull it out. It is my life's work, and I labor to have the knowledge that Ogma would impart to me, for I desire to go back to my elven land and make improvements, specifically to the buildings. I feel that there is some method by which water may be conveyed throughout the domiciles in a way that is more efficient than we have right now. But it seems a little humdrum and boring, but I want to work my way up further through the ranks of Ogma so that I will have more knowledge that I can bring home.
And as Sandowish speaks, looks puppy dog face and sad at Azorio and says, well, I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. It's a good lot that I have.
I treated your book like a joke. Now I know that it is a real possible solution to some of these problems in the world.
Yes, Sandowish. Knowledge is the key.
Splendorious says, knowledge is the key to greater glory.
Do you know what, Splendorious? I feel like we might have found the key right here. In Azorio. He's a really smart guy.
Splendorious suddenly stops writing in his diary with the feather quill, and his eyes narrow at Sandowish, and he says, you've been reading my diary, haven't you?
My heart doesn't belong to your diary.
If you haven't been reading my diary, then why would you say something that I wrote not but 15 minutes ago?
This one is for real, but I don't know anything about you or what you're doing, but I would just like to leave things to myself and find my own path, okay? okay?
I'm agreeing with you because you said that we should follow Azorio here on a path to greater glory because of his knowledge.
You're accusing me of reading your diary. I don't even keep a diary after. Oh my God. Did you hear what happened in 1272?
Splendorious just ignores Sandowish, and then he looks over at Azorio and he says, "This is proof that Agma here looks upon us favorably because he has blessed you with the knowledge. He has blessed Sandowish with the cunning, and he has blessed Splendorious with the vision for us to forge our new empire. It happens right here, boys. We can find more goblins to make our puppet kings before we start really turning over the numbers. Does anybody know an architect? Perhaps somebody who would be able to retrofit that goblin hovel into a proper fortress for us to begin our plans."
Well, it seems like Azorio here is an architect, and he's actually doing something with his life, FYI to you, Splendorious, who hasn't done anything. And you, I mean, come on, look at this guy, Azorio. He wants to design something with water for the new towns. It's going to be amazing.
Whose towns are they going to belong to?
Well, what about you, Splendorious?
Who do those towns belong to? They belong to us. The town's water systems that he's designing are going to be for our towns because we are going to have a new civilization of unprecedented technology, power, and glory, not to mention beautiful women.
Well, I will tell you this right now.
Yes.
Sandowish says, seems like quite a long con to get what you want. And what I want is the next purse of gold and to get my revenge on the red brands that stole my life.
Splendorious says, "Red brand, bleached spider, blue lion, white elephant parties."
And then Sandowish says, haven't you ever heard of Bill Martin Jr.? Brown bear, what do you see? I see a red bird looking at me. Red bird, what do you see? I see a blue cardinal looking at... It's a children's fucking book.
Wait, Blue Cardinal?
Sandowish says, you juvenile, lackluster.
You're the one reciting children's rhymes to me from some children's book, which I haven't read.
I'm sure you haven't read everything or anything, but my heart bleeds for you for that. But I would say that what we need to do is go get this loot and go get it quick so that I can arm myself to have revenge upon the red brands. And if you two can help me do that.
Splendorious starts snapping his fingers and pointing at Sandowish and looking at Azorio as if I've been saying it this whole time and you just never listen to me. Like we need to follow what this guy is saying.
I love that.
And just like throws up his hands in exasperation like nobody ever listens to him.
So Sandowish says, listen, everyone's talking about doing different things. Splendorious wants to go this way. He wants to kill goblins. He wants to create a kingdom.
Whatever will bring the most glory.
To me, this sounds like crazy talk. And Azorio, I'm not even sure why you're here, but you're guiding us. It all seems like fate has brought us together, right?
Finally.
Yes, I agree.
Finally, we can all agree. Thank you.
And what I've been looking for is something to happen to exact my revenge upon the red brands.
Yes.
A gang of thieves that I joined.
We will enslave them. They will be the new slave class that will inhabit with the goblins.
Oh, well, that's a little bit much.
And they will interbreed together.
I don't know.
It's part of the plan.
Here's the plan. We get back to the town. I feel like I'm not doing my voice anymore.
No, you're not doing your voice anymore. Just change the voice. Just switch to whatever is natural. Just be natural.
Just
be natural. Spit them all around.
It was so weird. I was just a thief, just stealing stuff. But then they undermined me. And this wizard came about and somehow kicked me out of the gang. And now I'm a nobody. They tried to kill me, and now I want to go back and exact my revenge, and I know exactly where all the riches are.
See, the gods, they just give you, all this stuff just falls in your lap. So why not aim for maximum? Because we don't have any control over our fate anyway, right? So that's why you might as well hope for the moon, and whatever else happens falls in your lap. Obviously, the gods are favorably looking upon us right now because we now have a steady supply chain of money, right? And so I say we get the money, right? And that will allow us to continue our plans of glory. Because in the end, that's what we all want, let's be honest, right?
I'd like to make a pit stop at Cragmaw Castle, if you two could be persuaded. I know that you have vision, you have methods, you have hopes for what you want to see happen. But I feel that what would be great for places all around is for the Temple of Ogma to be restored at Cragmaw Castle, and for the Temple of...
Ogma is not my god, though.
But surely you would rather have Ogma than the vile goblin god Maglubiet. You would rather have Ogma's altar than Maglubiet's altar at Cragmaw Castle.
Okay, so I will say that, like, Maglubiet sounds really bad. I do not like Maglubiet at all. So yes, I am with you on that one. But also, we need to get to Phandalin as fast as possible because that is where our quests lie, as far as me taking my revenge and as far as Splendorious rising to his sort of power as maybe some sort of politician or something.
And I'm intrigued by this place and would like to take notes for my tome, for the history is astounding.
So, do we have a map? Because my heart is still in Phandalin.
Splendorious says, which is the most pressing matter at the moment?
You ride on as the sun lowers in the sky, and your conversation comes to an end as you roll into Phandalin.
There was one time, Brad, during that live show, and you go, Sam.
Oh, yeah.
But I was really stoned. I looked around and nobody did anything. And I was like, it sounded like Brad just sang the first note of Rockstar by Smash Mouth. Sam.
All-Star, but yeah.
Sorry, All-Star. And then it was 2 or 3 songs later, you go, somebody once told me the world is gonna... Anyway, so I was like, because you did that and I couldn't tell if it just sounded like that to me or you made a noise and I just mistook you.
Sponsored by Anton's mom.
Okay,